I will show you how to crochet Tunisian Simple Stitch. I'll be using American crochet terminology throughout. For Tunisian Simple Stitch, you'll need a Tunisian crochet hook or Afghan crochet hook, and you'll want to use a larger size than you would normally use for a particular yarn. So in this case, I have worsted weight yarn. Typically, I would probably use a 5mm hook, but in this case, I'm using a 6.5mm hook. I find it makes a better fabric when the hook is a little bit larger than normal. To begin, I'll put a slip knot on my hook, leave it a nice long tail so I can weave that in later, and set up to begin with the chain. So I just yarn over and pull that loop through. So just a regular crochet chain made with my Tunisian hook. I'm crocheting a little bit, you can see that chain's a little bit loose there, but that's fine because I'll be working into it in just a moment. We'll stop and count the chains. Don't count the slip knot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do 11. 10, 11. The first row of Tunisian is always the same. Working into the second chain from the hook, so 1, 2, I'll work into the back bump. So I'm going to flip that chain over and look at that bump that's in the back. You can watch my video about working into the back bump as well. I'm going to insert my hook under that single bump right there, yarn over and pull up a loop, and make sure that loop goes all the way to the fatter part of the hook. You see where I have my throat here? I need to make sure it goes all the way up onto the full diameter of that hook. Then I'll do that again. Go into the next bump, yarn over, pull up a loop, make sure it goes all the way up here. Do that all the way across. So I'm working into the back bump of each of those chains. And unlike regular crochet, I'm not doing anything with those loops. I'm just loading up my hook with those loops all the way across. And I'll stop and count my loops. Now remember, I chained 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And I have 11 loops on my hook. You might think, oh, wait a minute, when I do regular single crochet, I only end up with 10 loops on my hook. But in Tunisian, you end up with the same number of loops as you chained. So this was my forward pass for my foundation row. The return pass is going to be the same on all the rows. I'll do a yarn over and pull through one loop. That's my chain one at the beginning of the row. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops all the way across. Yarn over, pull through 2. This helps unload my hook. Notice I loaded up my hook with loops, and now I am unloading it by doing a yarn over and pull through 2. At the end of the row, I have my last yarn over and pull through 2, and there I have finished my forward pass and my return pass to finish my first row. Notice that I have a lot of vertical loops here, all those little vertical bars. That's what I'm going to be using to pick up stitches for my next forward pass for Tunisian Simple Stitch. In this case, I do not start with a chain 1 at the beginning of the row. I just simply leave that loop on my hook. I'm going to give it a little tug to keep this side from getting too loose. For my first stitch, I'll skip this first vertical bar that's on the far edge and work under the next one from right to left, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Again, pull it up all the way to the full diameter here. Under the next bar, go under the bar, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Do that all the way across, loading up your hook. Make sure you're giving plenty of space there. You don't want your piece to curl forward any more than you can help. Tunisian Simple Stitch will curl a bit. It will curl forward. You can mitigate that by using a larger hook and by blocking it when you're finished. Here I've loaded up my hook. I'm at my last stitch. You see I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 stitches. At the end I don't work under just one strand. I sort of turn it this way and take a look, put it under those 2 strands right there. Yarn over and pull up a loop. There I have loaded up my hook with my 11 loops. It's time to do a return pass. They all work the same way. Yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 2 all the way across. You want to make sure you're not pulling too tightly on that first stitch of this row. And then when you get to the end of the row and start your next forward pass, you probably want to do a snugging up of the working yarn. It tends to be that the beginning of the forward pass row gets a little bit loose and the end of the forward pass row gets tight, and so you get a piece that's not square and straight along here. So you want to just give a little tug on this side and make sure you've got it a little loose on this side. The last row of Tunisian Simple Stitch requires a little bit of a different technique because you see these loops are kind of big and loose here, and we need to finish those off. So we're going to do sort of a bind off for this. In this case, I'm going to work under that first loop as I've been doing, but instead of pulling it up onto my hook, I'm going to do a slip stitch. I'm going to pull it up through there and also through the loop that was on my hook, so I end up with just one. Do that all the way across. Go under and then pull through everything you've got to bind off and finish off this last row. At the very end, do just what we did before. Work under 2 strands here, pull that up and pull it all the way through, and then you can cut your yarn and fasten off.
If you'd like more instruction like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the links in the video notes for more ways you can find me. Thanks for watching.